Good morning, Fin fans. It is another episode of Top of the Tailgate. Good morning to you all. This is your morning host this morning, Color. You know me as giving color commentary. Our humble leader has not made it up yet. I just talked to him. He is taking his time and will be with us shortly. So I am the one starting the show this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again. It is 6:05 Eastern Time in South Florida. It is hot. It is muggy. It is windy. Storm passed through the area yesterday. Squalls from a hurricane that made landfall just north of Cedar Key. And hopefully all our friends over on the west coast and northwest coast of Florida are okay. Flooding was major. Flooding is continuing throughout the southeast of the United States up into the seaboard as it exits out. So everybody stay safe. Don't drive into standing water. And traffic is nice this morning. It's quiet. You got your normal slowdowns at the junction. The school zone is in, so make sure you're paying attention to school zone speed limits and buses. And just don't mess around. Take it easy, wear your seatbelt, and don't run over our children. Other than that, how y'all doing this morning? I see a whole bunch of people in chat. Already got 15 of you rolling in here. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Good morning, Heather Long. First one in the chat this morning. Yes, I am enjoying a cup of coffee with you. Again, Green Mountain Nantucket blend. Good stuff with a little squirt of Snickers creamer. Josh Keppel, how you doing this morning? The realist Miami Dolphins YouTube channel. Good morning to you as well. Aquavision, how's it going? And of course, let's do some housekeeping real quick. Of course, as always, you can find all of our great content throughout the week, on the weekends. You got El Capitan, Fearless Leader. You got myself co-hosting with Ali every morning, Top of the Tailgate to you, as well as Coffee and a Cup of Color. You got Ali with his broken takes, and broken they are. And of course, Late Night Exhale on Saturdays. And always Shake Money. Mondays, Wednesdays, Drive Time, Smoke Lounge, you name it. Rabid Dolphin Lewis always helping him out, co-hosting, as well as with Crypto on Mondays. Because we got crypto. We got the crypto show Mondays and Thursdays now. I'll be joining them on Thursdays. And the Rabid Dolphin Lewis with him on Mondays. Of course, KP firing up the fantasy show on Saturdays. That was great. Make sure y'all are checking out last week's show, as well as popping in this Saturday to catch KP talking fantasy. And of course, the OG is back. Tonk for TMI Tuesdays. Totally went off the rail this Tuesday. You got to go check out the show. It's absolutely hilarious. And of course, if you want to support the channel, hit us up on Cash App, $ the Fins Tailgate, or Venmo the Fins Tailgate, as well as super chats, super stickers, and memberships. 3 different levels, as low as $2 a month, I think. 2 or 3, something like that. Get you some great emojis, other perks coming on the way as we grow even more. Thanks to you guys helping us grow. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and make sure you're hitting the notification bell so you know when we pop in with anything breaking for you. And of course, make sure you're using the links in the description below for our partners, affiliates, as, for example, Fanatics. All of your licensed gear for the MLB, NHL, NFL, NBA, as well as all the other major sports. And of course, Backroom Collections. Once you buy your little mini helmets at Fanatics, head over to Backroom Collections. They can customize you a visor for it, as well as many other great pieces of custom memorabilia, artwork, all kinds of great stuff. Husband and wife team, they do it right out of their home. Make sure you're hitting up Backroom Collections, hashtag TFTG for 10% off your first purchase. And of course, Dubby energy drinks, all smash, no crash. Check it out. Check out Shake's reviews. He does the entire starter pack, 4 or 5 different flavors, tells you all about Dubby. Make sure you're getting the dub with Dubby. As I said before, all links for all 3 of them are in the description below. Let them know we sent you. And use hashtag TFTG on Dubby as well for 10% off. And of course, you can't forget TFTGnetwork.com. Bookmark it. Make it your homepage. It's your centralized location for all things Finn's Tailgate, including our merch store, where you can find great products, all inspired from you guys in the chat, people that come up on our panels, shows we do. A lot of the stuff is inspired by that. So get over there to TFTGnetwork.com. You can find all our profiles in there for all your favorite characters here at the Finn's Tailgate, as well as articles, curated Miami Dolphins content, and content from around the league. TFTGnetwork.com. I got one little thing to show you, and then we may have the man himself coming here in just a second.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Finn's Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Finn's Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving it to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work. Check priorities, I'm doing that first. Checks big and I'm sure that hurts, but it's checkmate. We ain't selling short, know the work. Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind, 'cause I be on the way.
Good morning, Finn fans. Yes, I am here. Thank you so much to Color for holding it down. I really appreciate that. He is the man, the myth, the legend. Got kind of behind the times. Sorry about it. I apologize, but Color filled in for me. I really appreciate you doing the rundown and everything. How's everybody doing this morning? I hope all is good, right? It's, what is it, 6:12 in the morning? I got my coffee. Where did Color go? Color, you with us?
I am.
Oh, man, yeah, I thought you were running away. I'm like, where are you running away to? Stay here.
No, I figured it was full reset. You bring me up when you normally do.
I gotcha. Do you need a minute?
No, I'm okay.
You're all right, all right.
You need a minute.
We'll talk backstage. Backstage. I need more than just a minute, but we'll talk about that later. Let's get this show done. I'm here at the audience's pleasure. You know what I mean? I'm on their dime, not mine. So let's get this going. Let's get this thing going. As you just did the rundown, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I have it going all day, all show. Make sure you hit and like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. You know, the more we grow, the more content we can put out and the more information and we can share, as well as more fun we can have. That's ultimately why we're here, to have fun, right? Talking about something we love. That's what I'm talking about. So, but with that, in this morning, as usual, we need our coffee. I have my coffee. Do you have your coffee, Colin?
I do. So does Heather.
Does Heather have her coffee?
She does. She was the first one in chat showing coffee emojis.
Heather has coffee. Nice. What is your favorite coffee, Heather? Put that in the chat. Josh Capel. Good morning. I think I said that right. Did I say that right, Color? Capel?
Keppel, yeah.
Yeah.
Keppel.
I like this. The Realist Miami Dolphins YouTube channel. I like the name. Morning. Morning. Aquavision. What's up, buddy? He's always here.
It's what Ali's got this morning. Aquavision.
I always have Aquavision. Concrete dot fan. What's up, man? With the and I forget what they call the asterisks above the letters. Doesn't that change the letters? What is it? How's it pronounced? Concrete.
Let's see. Oh, you mean the little? Well, the line above the O would be means that the O sounds long instead of short. So it'd be dote.
Concrete dote fan.
And I'm not sure about the little tilde on the A or the N. The N's got a tilde. It's like fenya, because the N's got a tilde over it. So it's really an enye, not an N.
Interesting. All right, I'll have to talk to you, Concrete. I want to be able to say that correctly the way you're intending it, so I can say it. I think it's funny.
He's gonna be like, "It's concrete, not fan, guys. Quit making a."
EM Baller's up in here. I don't see him around here these parts, but that's pretty cool. Adam Sadowski, how's it going?
Member extraordinaire, Adam Sadowski.
That's right. And then we got C Huffle. How's it going? Northwest Ohio guy. Brian's Brains. Man, we got Brian's Brains all up in this place. I'm just kidding. Let's see here. Don't really have any favorites. I like all kinds. She don't like coffee colors. She's probably one of those frappuccino type chicks.
Frappuccino?
I'm trying to say it funny. Frappuccino. Just like Shake Money, he's a frappuccino chick.
Or a mulata?
She probably walks into a Starbucks and goes, "Yeah, I want a latte, shaken, not stirred, 10 times foam, 3 times bliss, and make sure you put the umph in it." And I'd be like, "What's that?" I don't know. I pulled that out of my ass, dude. I pulled that out of my ass. I'm sorry.
Just woke up and it was like, I'm gonna make fun of Heather this morning.
It's like Ursay, you know, he's trying to make trades like ordering a Big Mac. Instead of saying, "Yeah, I'll take 2 double cheese," he's like, "Yeah, I'll take Waddle, 2 double first round picks, 3rd round, and make sure you sprinkle the special sauce with the 7th round on top of it."
Right.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here, bro.
And then when he tips you,
I'm sorry, it's a morning show. Hold on. Whoa, I gotta do this.
Poor Ollie. Like, we can't hear you now. See, you done censored yourself right out of existence. Yeah, and Ursay's like that, like George Costanza on Seinfeld. He when he tips the lady, and then he reaches back and takes the $1 back from her. You know what I mean? It's like, geez, man. Good morning, Papa Paul, delusional Patriots fan. How you doing? Paul E. Ferguson, and of course DF. Yo to you too. Yeah, Ollie's just like, I'm gonna wake up picking on Heather this morning for some reason, and then he's like, F this and F that, and oh dang, it's a morning show. What time is it? He's all over the place this morning. Anyway, so like I said, I hope everybody's okay over there on the West Coast in the Big Bend of Florida. Took it right in the gut by a Category 4 hurricane yesterday morning / during the day. We got a few nice little feeders, breakaway feeders, squall lines that nailed us over here on the East Coast. Even had a tornado spotted. But other than that, we're okay over here. But yeah, there's lots of flooding going on. It's not the most populated area of Florida where it made landfall, but it dragged up the northeast side of that storm all across the Tampa region, up Highway 19 yesterday. It was just bloody murder all morning, all afternoon up over there, and wish the best for y'all. I hate it when it's like that. It's cool leading up to it because it's like, here comes the apocalypse, but man, it's a pain in the rear to deal with afterwards. I tell you that much.
All right, I'm back. Freaking YouTube kicked me out. It's like, don't do that again. Oh, all right.
Shame on you, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't mean to use curse word. I'm gonna put $2 in my Big Mac jar. So, I kind of like this, Ali. In the morning, I should just wake up late all the freaking time.
Yeah, let's stern it, bro. I mean, F this, F that. We'll put it on satellite. We'll get a big $1 million deal, and everybody will love us.
We'll get like some crazy like C-rated porn star up here to answer questions at the same time, like Howard Stern. Yeah.
Telling you.
Oh man, who's all up in here? Papa Paul, you're up early, bro.
Yep, I
saw him last night doing a show after Shake Money. He was doing another show, and then this morning, damn, he's up all the time. You sleep? Get some rest, my friend.
It's us old men. We don't sleep. You'd be surprised how little sleep you need as you get older.
The delusional Patriot fans are up in here.
Mm-hmm. Mike Catania, how you doing? Ruben.
G, what's up, G?
Of course, G. Hashtag free drip.
Paul Ferguson's up in here. Let's see who else is up in here. Who did I miss?
Here he is. Here's the man. Back from swimming around in the Gulf of Mexico after being tossed overboard of Noah's Ark. Shake Money himself. Knocking the salt out of his ears.
It's funny.
He was found floating in a life raft somewhere around Dry Tortuga yesterday.
I can actually say that ship has sailed. Oh yeah.
I mean, I've hammered the joke the past couple of days, but it's just because it's hilarious. The picture in my head of Shake floating in a life raft after getting tossed overboard of Noah's Ark.
The one thing is Shake and Captain Jack Sparrow have two things, and actually one thing definitely in common.
A big bottle of rum.
They got thrown. Actually, two things in common. They both got thrown over the board off the boat, and they know where the rum is at. Just saying.
Exactly.
Think about what Shake Money does. So,
poor Shake. No, he's a loyalist, man. I tell you what, if you want a loyal guy, that's Shake right there, right to the end, man.
Shake Money is the real deal, man. He is a real person. And
I told him not to I told him not to sail out the Ark when there was a hurricane out there, but he did it anyway. And the crew mutinied on him, threw him overboard, and started steering the thing towards Texas, man. That was the last we heard of the Ark.
You know who threw him overboard, right?
Probably Noah.
Nope, it was Ursay after he ordered his Big Mac with Waddle.
Yeah. If you didn't hear me earlier when you got kicked off, I was saying Ursay is like George Costanza on that one Seinfeld episode when he tips the waitress and then reaches back and slides $1 back out and takes back $1.
Yeah, that's true.
That's her say, man.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, let's get this going. So you got your coffee, right?
I do.
Got coffee of the week. I'm drinking. Where's my coffee? Here's my coffee. I'm drinking some Publix Premium. I'm finishing it off. I got something special. See, I sound like I've been drinking the other something special, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure, man. I mean, this is hilarious. Delusional says, or shake floating in the ocean on a piece of driftwood inscribed Noah's Ark.
He held on. He wouldn't let go and ripped it right off the boat.
All he's got is a plank. It says Noah's Ark on it.
Oh, it's funny. That is hilarious. So yeah, I'm drinking Publix coffee. As I said, it's a premium coffee, just at a lower price. It's the lowest of the premium coffees, if you want to call it that. I don't even consider it a budget coffee. I am. It's okay. I have something special I'm drinking tomorrow, right? As long as I wake up in time. And I also have I have something special for next week that I already ordered. It arrives Sunday, so I can't wait for that. No, it's not goat turd coffee. It's not brain infused coffee. Like my
brain infused coffee? No.
Nope.
I don't even want to know what that is.
Nope. And it's not coffee made under the sea. So don't even bring that up. So anyway, yeah. What are you drinking? McCafe? No.
Tim the audience. I already told him.
What is it?
Green Mountain Nantucket blend
with a naked man.
Roast.
Okay.
Little bit of a hint of a kind of an oily flavor hint, but not like full Colombian flavor. You know what I mean?
Not like full Colombian.
Not even as much as like a French roast. It's just very subtle.
Gotcha.
I do kind of want my McCafe back, but whatever. Is what it is.
It's true. Hold on.
Yeah. So. Yeah, the news. Where are we at? We did weather. We did traffic. Traffic is pretty light, believe it or not. All the way down through Miami and everything. You still got the road closed on 95 down in the North Miami region. But other than that, man, other than a little orange at the intersections, so far so good. Make sure you're keeping distance behind the person in front of you. Wear your seatbelt. And always, if you're in the 305 area, turn around and go the other way. And you'll make it to work quicker and safer.
All right. I'm ready for the next thing. Cause for cleats, color. Yeah, we have a cause for cleats. Today's cause for cleats is...
is that what you've been working on? Like, since you... Is that what you've been distracted by? You look distracted, so I just figured that's what you were distracted by.
Bro, this is what happens when you don't get a good night's sleep and you wake up late, right? You get the unfiltered Ollie. Should I already now F-bombs down?
The tables are turned.
Joking around about Big Mac and cheese, and then in addition to that, to atone for this, I'm bringing out this cause for cleats to make myself feel better.
So our roles are reversed this morning. I'm the one all chipper and ready to go with the show, and you're all
hold on.
Where am I?
Let me get color. This is my version of color. All right, here we go. Hold on. Let me actually turn my camera off to do this. Hello, Ali. Yes, this is Colorcom. I don't really care. I'm tired. I'm here. Can't catch the damn ball. Don't make fun of me. I'm tired. I did it. Deal with these. No, I'm just kidding. I can't do it.
Wow.
Oh man, I was trying to. It sounded funnier in my head. It didn't come out right.
Right. Well, like yesterday, I go down for a nap. Like right before I go down for a nap, I get somebody telling me I ain't got no brains, and then I wake up from a nap and get on YouTube, and I got somebody telling me, what was it? What was it, Ollie? It was I wasn't in my
hold
right
on.
mind.
hold on. That I said it the wrong way because after I
I'm
thought
kidding,
about it,
man.
I know, but the way I thought about it, what I was saying wasn't what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is that it's obvious that everybody and their mother would want Waddle,
Right.
and Chris Greer would be out of his mind if he's gonna let him go like that. You know what I mean? You got to be out of your mind.
Well, while
Go ahead.
also giving up a first round pick, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it was a scenario that we all talked about last week where we're getting 2 first round picks, I thought we all were in agreement that'd be a move we'd make. You know what I mean?
I agree. I would kind of think about it at that point. Yeah, I would definitely think about it.
My whole thing was everybody made that agreement. And then when the news came out that we offered Waddle, it was like, first of all, vindication on my part. Or not that we offered him, but we were asked for him, right?
Yeah.
First, it was vindication because obviously I wasn't the only one thinking that. And secondly, all of a sudden, like people forgot what context I was talking about it in.
Yeah.
I didn't know Irsay said we want Waddle and a first. I would have said that's just as ridiculous as anybody else said it was. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But people never gave me that chance yesterday. Namely, I mean, obviously, I understand the misunderstanding we have, but earlier in the day, it's like, all of a sudden it's everybody's got to have their idiot for the fan base to point to every day. It reminds me of when we were all kids, because I grew up with like in a group of 4 children, right? So there would, like, during the summer we would always like rotate as to which of the 4 kids would be getting bullied. So like 3 of us would bully the 4th one, and the person getting bullied would change every single day. Like it would cycle out we'd all get our turn.
Musical chairs. It's called musical bully.
Yeah. So I just felt yesterday like just because I wanted to say that, hey, I took a victory lap by saying, hey, there's a whole organization of executives that agreed with me. I could easily appeal to their authority like everybody else appeals to authority. The Colts asked for him, so obviously more people thought it was a possibility than just color, you know what I mean? And people that get paid to know that stuff, again, appeal to it. This is why I don't like to appeal to authority, and this is why it's a fallacy. Because you could say, well, Chris Greer wouldn't do it in his right mind. Well, okay, but Ballard asked for it. So he's sitting there thinking,
I think he asked for it because he knew Chris Greer would say no.
Well, I mean, that's part of why adding on the first round pick. Yeah, it was an outrageous demand. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is that there's people in the league that aren't Dolphin fans that are like, they could see it from my perspective. Like it's not the craziest thing that's ever happened in the NFL for a team like us to give up Waddle like that.
Yeah. Papa Paul, don't forget, not only did he want the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, he wanted next year's 7th too. So don't forget that.
I mean, all he had to do is say, no, I don't want to deal with you, Miami. I get that. I understand what people are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Color.
If it would have been a fair deal and we turned it down, then that's saying what, something that TD said on his show last night made a lot of sense, that he wouldn't be for trading Waddle either. Not because a team couldn't deal without him. It's because our team can't deal without him. So in other words, Waddle is actually more beneficial, even though we already have a $30 million wide receiver. Waddle is more beneficial to this team than a $15 million running back. And I don't know if that's a really happy situation for us to be in. That seems pretty one-dimensional to me, but I digress.
Yeah. Let's keep it moving, Color. I got a hard stop at 8 anyway. All right. So, Cause for Cleats, right? Brought to you by TFTG Network. Today's Cause for Cleats is called, it's the A Kid Again. Yes, that's what it's called. A Kid Again. You can go to akidagain.org if you want more information. A Kid Again. Their purpose is to foster hope, happiness, and healing for children with life-threatening conditions and their families. The heart of our team is our dedicated volunteer network and generous donors who have enabled us to provide year-round adventures that allow children with life-threatening conditions to feel like a kid again since 1995. Our commitment to families goes beyond our adventures by providing comprehensive, practical support to help navigate the long-term impact of a life-threatening condition. The network of awesome families offer a safe place to share stories of strength and encouragement. If you go to A Kid Again, they have various different ways you can help. Donate, different adventures, enjoy stress-free adventures with your family. A Kid Again offers free local events and activities called Adventures for Families who have a child facing life-threatening conditions. They handle all the expenses and details so you can simply enjoy quality time with your loved ones. How much does it cost, you may ask? Absolutely nothing. Adventures are all 100% free. Their goal is to take care of everything so you can focus on your loved ones and have fun with your family. What are the qualifications? The child must be under the age of 20 years old. And their diagnosis has to be deemed life-threatening, of course. And then you can go there and apply. They have a lot of different resources and different events and stuff. You can learn how to donate. There's tons of information. Again, it's akidagain.org. So, yeah. And just so you know, we're not affiliated with any of the cause for cleats that we bring awareness to. We're just giving back to the community by making you aware of them. So, thank you. Again, you can go to akidagain.org.
All right.
See, I don't have to do that color because I'm a kid every day. No.
No, but that's a great organization. Like, I can't imagine. I don't have any kids, so I just can't even imagine what it must be like to, you go through having a kid and you think your whole world's ahead of you. You're going to form this life and this and that. And then your kid gets struck down with something and it just all doesn't go to plan. And all of a sudden it's like everything you thought it would be to be a parent has changed and you're in a different dynamic and all that. And it's tough, and it's great that there's people out there to catch those people up and say, hey, it's this is okay. This is we'll help. You can and hey, it's not terminal stuff. It's just life-threatening stuff for this organization, right? So it's not like there's hope for these kids, and the parents can get through it, and then all of a sudden they're back on track with what they thought their life would be like with raising their kids. So that's it. Organizations like that help with the hiccup, of parenting like that, and those types of parenting situations where you have to deal with stuff like that. Not every parent, some parents say kid was great and healthy, and next thing you know, they're 16, 18 years old and leaving the house, but not all parents have that experience.
Mm-hmm. Good morning to it's growing to be my favorite Buffalo Bills fan. Josh Allen is the next Elway. So,
yeah, he's been doing around lately, I must admit.
When he's come on the panel, man, he's actually a pretty smart guy, and he's calm, collected, and
as much as I misname him, he takes it on the chin. See, he understands that Josh Allen is the next Carson Wentz. He gets it, but I can understand he's still a fan of his team.
I used to make fun of the name when I saw it in the panel, only because if you think about it. Not Josh Allen. What am I saying? Elway didn't win his Super Bowl until like the last 2 years of his career. So,
wow.
And that's a long time to wait. You know what I mean?
So I have an interesting article for your next segment if you didn't find one.
For what in the world? Go for it. I'm going to put that up here right now. What in the world?
The one I texted you this morning.
I didn't get to see it yet. I'm sorry, bro. So this is my first.
No problem. And Lance says, please, no more Cardinal fans. He's talking about St. Louis Cardinals, but that does lead into what I had to offer for what in the world, which was, of course, the article I sent you. Things not so great in Cardinal land over in Arizona.
What's going on? Talk to me.
Okay, so let me pull it up real quick because I didn't get it. Didn't transfer
Yeah, this would be my live reaction to whatever it says. So
it. Yeah, so I'll pull up the article here. Give me just a second while my phone app refreshes here on my computer so I can pull it up there. There it is. All right. So report. This is from Yahoo Sports contributing writer Callie Lawson Freeman. Report: ex-Cardinals coach Steve Wilks says he was given a burner phone to talk to suspended GM berated by owner. Former Arizona Cardinals vice president of player personnel Terry McDonough filed an arbitration claim against owner Michael Bidwell to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell in April that detailed allegations of harassment, racist treatment of employees, and cheating. On Friday, Steve Wilks, who served as head coach of the Cardinals during the 2018 season, gave a testimony that supported McDonough's allegations. The 54-year-old is now the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. He spoke in the deposition from California, according to a transcript obtained by ESPN. In the testimony, he reportedly claimed that he was mistreated by Bidwell and pressured into breaking league rules while witnessing racist mistreatment of other employees. Former Cardinals general manager Steve Klein was issued a 5-game suspension from the league in 2018 for extreme driving under the influence during the Cardinals training camp. In his April complaint, McDonough claimed that Bidwell forced him and Wilks to communicate with the general manager through burner phones to circumvent the NFL's disciplinary ruling for no communication. Wilks reportedly reiterated that allegation Friday, claiming that Bidwell and other team executives communicated with Klein throughout his suspension, including while the Cardinals negotiated a 3-year, $39 million contract extension with running back David Johnson. Wilks reportedly said former Cardinals vice president of football administration Mike Disner gave him the phone sometime between July 18th and July 20th. Wilks, Disner, Klein, McDonough, and vice president of football operations and faculties Matt Caracciolo, all allegedly received them. Disner allegedly showed Wilks that his phone had been preloaded with everybody's initials and numbers. Wilks reportedly claimed to have only one text exchange with Klein on the burner, in which he responded to a question about progress at practice. Wilks reportedly said his identity as a black man contributed to his unease about the scheme. This led him to ask McDonough, who is white, to intervene on his behalf. With me being a first-year head coach, I felt uncomfortable from the beginning that I worked this hard to get to this plateau and this opportunity, and then I was presented with this situation with being unethical, Wilks reportedly said in his testimony. McDonough claimed in the April filing that he expressed his and Wilks' hesitance to break the rules, which resulted in McDonough's being yelled and cursed at before being written up for insubordination by Bidwell. Wilks reportedly said he overheard a heated conversation between McDonough and Bidwell shortly after McDonough said he would speak out on the scheme about the scheme. Wilks reportedly said, "I don't know exactly what was said. I was walking off the practice field, might have been 15, 20 yards away, and I just heard Michael berating McDonough, so I stopped and looked. He said McDonough did not yell at Bidwell. Bidwell, however, was definitely irate." Cardinals external public relations advisor Jim McCarthy addressed McDonough's claims in an extensive statement in April and claimed that another executive was to blame for the burner phone scheme, adding that Bidwell took, quote, swift action to stop the prohibited communication. You can get over there and read on about the rest of the through the rest of her article about the allegations of mistreatment and racism if you like. I don't want to steal all her thunder, but yeah, that's what's going on over in Arizona these days.
Yeah, I definitely hear you. Wow, that's kind of crazy,
So when
right?
we all sit here and speculate about, oh, so and so is actually like GM is suspended or owner is suspended, is he really like really? Come on. And here you go. There's at least one organization that's willing to divvy out burner phones so they can all still talk to each other.
We're not the only we're not the
Right.
only ones that did something kind of crazy. Yep.
Right, exactly. How many burner phones were there to talk to Tom Brady?
That's a good question. Don't put that out there, bro. We don't need to lose any more draft picks. We're trying to save those.
Yeah, look at this. I'm not the only one with thinking it. Delusional says insubordination sounds familiar. Heffel says Flores case all over again. I mean, yeah, it's a case again where a guy, because of his racial status, let's say, okay, fights tooth and nail, as a minority in this country to get where he's at, and then is faced with a decision that could ruin all of that. Up or down. If he does it and gets caught, he's ruined. If he doesn't do it, it's insubordination and he's ruined. How can a guy win like that? It's
That's
disgusting. True. And it's the same thing Flores was faced with.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I got one color. I got another article. Not really an article, but just an update. We recently talked about Tennessee Titan corner Caleb Farley and how his house exploded, right? And we found the tragic loss of his father in the explosion, right? Remember that article we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
That report? Well, we got an update. Investigators determined the cause of the explosion that killed Titans cornerback Caleb Farley's father was caused by a natural gas leak.
Propane explosion, yep. That's what I thought.
Uh,
That's usually when a house goes like that suddenly. It's either a propane tank, like a natural gas explosion, or other nefarious activities that cause a house to explode. That's real sad. Condolences to his family, and everybody make sure your valves are checked and
and regulators,
pilot lights are on and all that stuff, man. Yeah, I mean that's just sad.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens just like that,
And that's the one con to having natural gas. Yes, it's cheaper. I honestly think cooking with it is much better, and whatnot. But it's one of the most dangerous resources you can have in the house like that. It's just sad. Yeah.
Jags junkies drinking Maxwell House coffee here. It says dark with a little bit of cream.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up this one because I saw this guy's face swirling around my Twitter, and if we're gonna be making trades, this is a trade that I definitely want to do. I don't really care.
Ali, while you're doing that, I'm just so you're not alarmed by what the pop in and pop out. I'm going to switch over to my phone real quick.
Okay, no worries. So, what in the world is going on with the 49ers? Let's actually talk about that. 49ers share alarming Nick Bosa contract update. San Francisco 49ers general manager John Lynch and head coach Kyle Shanahan certainly hid their feelings if they're truly confident superstar pass rusher Nick Bosa will sign a contract extension before the team's Week 1 matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lynch goes on to say about the situation, no updates, Lynch said about the situation while speaking with reporters on Wednesday, as shared by David Bolinia of the 49ers web zone. Yeah, I'm going to stick to that, but there is communication, and that's a good thing, so I'll leave it at that. Wow, it doesn't sound very confident, to be honest. The NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport suggested earlier this week that Bosa could remain away from the team through the start of the regular season amid the contract dispute. However, Wednesday morning report offered hope that the two sides might come to an agreement in time with the re-signing of Defensive Player of the Year, so feature Pittsburgh against Pittsburgh on September 10th. Shanahan did not express such optimism on Wednesday. You guys know how we feel about Nick, and we all know how good of a player he is, Shanahan said during his comments. So hopefully we can come to terms soon and get him here as fast as possible. It's believed Bosa, who's in the final year of the rookie contract, is looking to become the highest paid defensive player in the NFL history via an extension. Shanahan and Wednesday's No Lynch team is working tirelessly to get a deal done so the 49ers can get Bosa back sooner than later. I thought a deal would come probably at this time, looking at the history of those things, Shanahan said, according to Cam Inman of the Mercury News. One thing Shanahan and Lynch made clear is that trading Bosa rather than paying the 25-year-old is absolutely not on the table ahead of September. I haven't talked to many people about that, but I know I feel pretty strongly about a possible... I'm sorry. I haven't talked to many people about that, but I know I feel strongly, Shanahan said about a possible trade. I think everyone would agree to that. Meanwhile, Lynch directly said that there isn't any chance he might consider trading Bosa. Never say never, my friend. Never say never, because you never know when you may actually have to at some point. But if this was legitimately happening and a trade was available, I'm sorry, bro. I know we want to say we'd be all in for Jonathan Taylor, and I agree we should have been. But if you have this guy on the table too, it's a hard decision. For me, I kind of want Nick Bosa over Jonathan Taylor, bro. Kind of. Nick Bosa is the real deal, bro. He is legit. Plus, talk about a what do they call that? A person that's a spawn of a person that had a dynasty here. What do you call it? Is it dynasty? Is that the term color? A legacy. Legacy is the word I'm looking for. This would be a legacy trade and signing for the Miami Dolphins because his daddy played for the Miami Dolphins, right? Bring Nick Bosa home.
No,
Bring him
don't
home.
say it. Don't you dare say that, bro.
Why? Well, how am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong, Color. How am I wrong?
Well, because I just saw a headline this morning on my toilet sources that said that the 49ers have said they're absolutely, John Lynch has said they're absolutely not trading.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Exactly.
Right.
It was on the headline. Yeah.
Right.
That's what they say.
Right.
But what I was saying hypothetically, if they finally decide, oh, we don't have any choice, we got to move off him or we're losing him at some point.
Right.
I'm making this trade. I don't really care what it costs because I think Nick Bosa is good enough that he would create all that organic pressure. No problem. You know what I mean?
Well,
that we talked about that we need. Good.
I mean,
Keep going.
We have hesitated to sign a certain person that I don't know, man.
We've
Bring him home.
You're talking about Christian Wilkins? Is that who
Yeah,
you're
I
talking
mean,
about?
I'm talking about, the person who's going to command the most money on our team, going forward.
Defense. Don't defensive ends make more money than defensive tackles?
Oh, I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure. What's Bosa's sack total?
What's Bosa's sack total?
Yeah.
I'm about to blow your mind. You ready for this?
Yeah, like 10,000.
10,000. He is ridiculous, so we'll see. In 2022, he had 18 and a half sacks.
I mean, really?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we can deal without Wilkins for a guy like that. I'm sorry to tell you, ladies and gentlemen.
I want both, Color. Fuck it.
Well,
I want
if we
both.
can handle it. If we can handle it,
Through
sure.
the running back room, get me Nick Bosa. I swear to God, dude. If I'm Vic Fangio and I know there's a possibility of this happening, I'm foaming at the mouth right now.
So what if they asked for? What if they said they would give you 2 first rounds and Nick Bosa for Jalen Waddle?
You know what? At that point, I would be like, well, thank you. You just gave us the man, the myth, the legend, Marvin Harrison Jr. Yum,
Right,
yum, yum,
right.
yum, yum,
Exactly.
yum, 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 yum. That's exactly what I'm saying. Listen. I know we all love Waddle. I don't want to get rid of Waddle. Waddle is one of the most productive and efficient receivers in the league. Color proved that, and it surprised the hell out of him, right? He really is. If you look at how much the yardage he gets compared to anyone else, right? Even though he wasn't ranked number one, the amount of yardage and how consistent he was, that proved that he's one of the most efficient receivers. And yes, I do think that it's I do think that he does kind of make our offense work. You know what I mean? He's one of those pillars that without it, I don't know if it would stand on its two legs. You know what I mean? I agree. So it has to be a Godfather offer for me to be able to accept this. If they say Waddle and we'll give you 2 first-round picks and Nick Bosa, I'm going to say yes. Because one, Nick Bosa, dude, could you imagine Nick Bosa and Jalen Phillips on the line?
Right.
Holy shit. And at Christian
Wilkins. Can you imagine Jalen Waddle and Deebo Samuel on the same team? I mean, let's be real. I mean, it's not as if the 49ers wouldn't see him as a gem in the way they like to utilize people. You know what I mean?
If they get Jalen Waddle as a 49er, okay, that would instantly make the 49ers having the best trio of receivers in the NFL.
And
because
likewise,
they have Deebo Samuel, right? Mm-hmm. They have Brandon Ayuk. Don't forget about him. He's pretty good himself. And then you have Jalen Waddle. That is the best trio.
Can you imagine the dual jet sweep threat of Deebo and Waddle?
That's true.
You know what I mean? And then you got on the other token, you got us now with a guy like Bosa would instantly be a top 3 defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, let's be real. I'm not saying, look, it's pipe dreaming here. I'm not talking about we're in fantasy land. I'm not.
Yeah, we're all hypothetical.
Before everybody kills me over it and thinks I hate Waddle and all that, it's not what it's about. It's just being realistic. Like it would be a mutually beneficial trade. Other than, I really agree with TD last night saying that we cannot give up Waddle because Waddle is more valuable to our offense than anybody else's in the league. Mm-hmm. Because of our quarterback. And that brings me to what Cap for Life just reported about Joe Rose. Thank you, Cap for Life, for relaying what Rose is talking about this morning. Because, where are we at? 27 people would rather watch us than listen to Joe Rose. So appreciate y'all. Hit the like button. But he's saying Joe Rose is confirming that we are no longer going to be talking contract negotiations with either Christian Wilkins or Tua until the end of the season. Which to me, okay, fine with Christian Wilkins, but it's a nice little slip in there that they just slipped in. Oh, we're not going to talk with Tua either, as if they were. Like whoever reported they were talking to Tua right now. And how dare them if they do?
Well, I think he's reporting that because of what Chris Greer said in his interview yesterday.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like they slipped that in. Not Cap for Life. I'm saying they slipped it in as if it's going to become. He's already starting the desensitization of us when it comes to extending to it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But here's one thing. I understand Joe Rose is reporting that, but I don't believe that when it comes to Christian Wilkins. I think that fine. When they finally come to an agreement, they're going to talk about it, bro. Because they can find him anytime during the season.
I agree.
It's not like so. I think Christian Wilkins will get done. I think Tua for sure. They're going to wait till the end of the season this side. So that's going to be at the very end.
To play devil's advocate. Generally, when Chris Greer and the Dolphins have come out and made definitive statements like that, they've been telling the truth. You know what I mean? Usually, like at least when they've been that adamant about it, like like as if they're trying to squash the talk.
But here's the other part of it, though. They try to squash the media talk because they like to make their extensions be a surprise, like. Jerome Baker extension came out of nowhere, for example.
Well, I can see that.
Nobody was talking about it, and it happened. You know what I mean? Just like when we remember our former safety, Rashad Jones. It was Rashad Jones, right?
Right.
His extension came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It was like, whoa, I didn't see that one coming. And that's a lot of money. So that's basically what I'm saying. They come out of nowhere. They don't really like to talk about it. You know, it's like Merry Christmas type of thing. You know, it's kind of, yeah, we got 30 sets. See, you got 10 more people in here, bro. You say Joe Rose's name 3 times. It's like they come like Beetlejuice. Kind of.
Well,
crazy.
you know, I could have also been mistaken. It could have been a 3 all along, but I don't know. I'm half blind, man, on my phone. But still, yeah.
Shake Money is saying the new team trading for Wilkins will negotiate his contract. Are you trying to say he's on the trade block? I don't think he's on the trade block.
Shake is not too pleased with management last couple of days, bro, and I'm pretty sure I know what that stems from, because you know, look, you know, hey, it is what it is. You know, it's another example of a guy expecting payment on projection. You know, like our quarterback, like everybody. Nobody wants to pay you know who on projection. We'd rather ship him over to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I know where he's coming from, and I don't blame him.
Yeah. So Color, I am less than 100 followers away from 1,000. So everybody go on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. Sorry. I'm still going to call it Twitter. I apologize. Go to X, right? Go check out our handles in here. Let me do this. At Ali_DA_Persian or at ColorCom. Give us a follow. Please do that. We're using the Twitter. We're going to be using Twitter not only to invite everybody to TFTG spaces so you guys can join the conversation, but also to put out events and notifications and stuff about upcoming shows, upcoming events, tailgates at the game. Yes, you can come hang out with us. So we're going to be putting out a lot of information there as well. So make sure you follow us on Twitter. That's
and Ali is leaving me in the dust. So there's a whole bunch of you that followed him that haven't followed me yet. Thanks.
Well, Color, I don't think that is the case, to be honest, because most of my following fan base also comes from the other sport that I follow too.
Oh yeah.
I kind of have like an
yeah. I don't want a bunch of soccer guys following me. I'm being real, bro. I'm just saying.
English Premier League, come and follow Twitter or follow Color, please.
I can't even handle 2 in ears. You want me to handle foreign soccer fans? Yeah, right.
Talk about soccer though. I'm going to bring one other in the world. I just forgot about this, right? I'm going to talk about this real quick, and then we're going to start the next segment, which is time for some football, right? Today is the last day of the English Premier League the worldwide summer transfer window for a lot of the countries ends today. And what that means is in soccer, instead of having, you know how like in NFL we have free agency period, the off season for free agency,
right?
They have windows throughout the year that you're allowed to sign players or buy players from other teams, right? And what I mean by buy players, because they do trades, but it's more like buying. So what they have to do in soccer, they have to first negotiate a deal with the other team. Like, hey, we want that player from you. We'll give you whatever, like, let's say the person's market value is like 30 million. And they're like, well, we'll give you 25 million, or we'll give you 31 million, or whatever, if they want to overvalue him or not. And so they have to pay the team. And then once the team agrees to the deal, then they can negotiate a contract with the player and work out the schematics of that. Once they have full agreement on both parties, then the deal will become official after some paperwork is filled out, and they sell the player to the team. Now, sometimes they do player swaps, but it also includes money they have to pay as well. So it just depends on the player. Well, this year in the summer transfer alone, they have spent $8.317 billion in player sales this summer transfer window, which started in May.
Wow. That could buy 2
Wait,
NFL teams, man.
Yeah, it could, right? That's what I'm talking about. And that's worldwide. And that usually the last day or the last 24 hours, which is started now at this point, they usually spend like almost another $1 billion in one day. It's ridiculous. So it'll be surprising what it finally comes out to. But I just thought that was crazy how much money they spend in soccer on a yearly, and that's just one window. In soccer, there's 2 windows. There's the summer transfer window, and then there's the winter transfer window. Winter transfer window, they try to go bargain shopping, so they do spend a couple $1 billion, but not 8.3 billion, not like that. So just thought that was pretty amazing. All right, let's go to time for some football, because that's the take. All right, and we're going to be talking Dolphin news. You brought up Waddle colors, so we're going to be talking about Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle participates in first Dolphins practice since torso injury, so he's back, baby. Frontline receiver Jalen Waddle participated in his first practice with the Miami Dolphins since suffering a torso injury 3 weeks ago, which motivated the team to shut the third-year receiver down for most of August. Waddle, who led the NFL in yards per catch last season, is progressively scaling up in practice participation this week, with the goal of being cleared to play in the September 10th season opener against the Los Angeles Chargers. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. I know what I meant to say Chargers, but I was trying to be funny.
So let me get this straight.
Go ahead.
The trade for Jonathan Taylor falls through, and the very next day, Waddle is practicing again. I just wanted to point that out, and I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, well, supposedly Waddle could have come back a lot earlier, but they were holding him back. I don't know why.
Okay, just
interesting.
Yep, people can decide for themselves.
Yeah. So he goes on to say, "I'm feeling good. Me and the medical staff talked, and they're doing a good job monitoring me, but feeling good," said Waddle, who suffered his torso injury falling on a ball the second day of the Miami joint practice with the Atlanta Falcons. On Wednesday, the Dolphins' 2021 first-round pick ran routes with his teammates for the first time since suffering the injury. When asked if he's on track for the Chargers game, Waddle said it's his expectation that he'll play. "Like I told the trainers, I'm feeling good," said Waddle, who caught 75 passes for 1,356 yards and scored 8 touchdowns last season. They're doing a good job of communicating with me, letting me know what to do and what not to do and things like that. Coincidentally or not, Waddle's receiver mate Tyreek Hill was absent from Wednesday's practice. Hill has been nursing an undisclosed injury since the start of training camp. That explains a lot, Color. The Dolphins have the weekend off starting Friday and begin preparation for the Chargers on Monday. Dolphins injury update: off-season offensive linemen Liam Eichenberg, Robert Jones, and Teron Armstead all were missing from Waddle's practice. Armstead participated in a rehab assignment on Thursday and likely won't practice until late next week. Jones, who suffered MCL injury 2 weeks ago, is likely headed to injured reserve. Eichenberg injury remains a mystery. I didn't know he was even injured. Did you? Damn. Tailbacks Jeff Wilson and Savon Ahmed missed their second straight practice with undisclosed injury, and Devon A-Chain participated in a red jersey for the second straight day. A red jersey designates the player shouldn't be touched. Dolphins began filling out its 16-player practice squad by signing 5 veterans and 3 rookies. Defensive lineman Deshaun Hand, outside linebacker Cameron Good, tight end Tanner Connor, receiver Braylon Edwards, and linebacker A.J. Johnson were veterans signed to the developmental units. You got your man back, Cameron Good, Color. You got him back. Can you hear me, Color?
Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that this morning. I was quite pleased to see that. That's cool.
Definitely. Just want to make sure you can hear me. Center Alama Ulave, cornerback Ethan Bonner, and defensive end Randy Charlton were the rookies officially signed to the practice squad. All three players have been with the Dolphins since signing as undrafted rookies back in May. Ulave, Bonner, I'm going to say Bonner, and Charlton joined tailback Chris Brooks, tight end Julian Hill, and defensive tackle Brandon Pilley as the undrafted players who made the Dolphins' initial team, either the 53-man roster or the practice squad. Tight end Elijah Higgins and offensive tackle Ryan Hayes were both targeted to be added to the practice squad, got picked up on waivers Wednesday. Sanders, who suffered a lower body injury, participated in rehab assignment during Tuesday's practice. Dolphins have 8 more practice squad spots and likely will use them with the next couple of days to either sign players who were on the other team's training camp roster or sign players who have been with the team during training camp who got released the past 2 days. The Dolphins are signing expatriate offensive guard Chasen Hines to their practice squad, according to his agency. Hines is former LSU, who the Patriots selected in the 6th round of the 2022 draft. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So Eichenberg is still not the guy. We had to go get another guard. Look at that. Yeah.
Yep. And I am currently on Chosen Watch. So you all know I'm vigilantly awaiting the re-signing of one Robbie Chosen. I do this so all you don't have to.
All right, Color. Appreciate that. Color's on Chosen Watch. He has chosen to watch Chosen.
It's going to be a pretty sleepy stakeout, I can tell you that much. I've brought a lot of snacks, a lot of loud music to keep myself awake. So we'll see what happens.
Yep, we'll definitely see what happens. Let's see here. I was hoping. Let me see if we'll play. Let's see. It's 7:10 Color. We got time.
It
to do
is.
that. Hold on one second. Let me bring this up. Color, I'm bringing up something off of Miami Dolphins media availability.
Okay.
And while I do that, go ahead and speak to the audience if you'd like. This may take
I
a
will
moment.
speak to the audience about saying, hi, everybody. How you doing? Mr. Polk, good morning. Just seeing you rolling in. Dolphin and Don, Kenna Rankin, how you guys doing? Some of the latecomers, Cap for Life, of course. Appreciate the little bit of info from Joe Rose. We know you're always listening. Mudbone, how you doing this morning, Mudbone? Let's see, who else? We got 72 undefeated rolling in. Concrete. I didn't say hi to Concrete yet.
Yes, you did. Remember, we were saying hi, trying to figure out how to say his name.
Oh yeah, but I didn't say hi to him. I was just
okay. Good point.
dropping in on you. Yeah. But yeah, so looks like we're going to be fairly one-dimensional this year. We got a rock-solid wide receiver room and greatest quarterback to ever live. So
but we have A-Chain, Color. We have A-Chain. He's our rookie star running back that's unproven. We have A-Chain. We can fall on him. We'll be fine.
Yep. Sure can.
No, but for real, Color, I don't think we're one-dimensional. I think we are two-dimensional, but it's not proven yet. We have to prove it.
That's 1.5 dimensional.
Yeah. 1 point. We're all, we'll see. We'll see what happens, Color. I mean, we could still definitely bring in another running back, and it still will kind of fill the void. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind, people hate on this, but I wouldn't mind getting a Kareem Hunt up in here. You know what I mean? He's run in this scheme, and he was the leading rusher when he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the mileage on him that a lot of other running backs had, due to the fact that he had to split carries with Chubb in Cleveland. You know what I mean? So, and remember, prior to that, he took a year off too.
I mean, if he's looking for a comeback in a number one role, I guess he wouldn't be bad. Probably run hard.
Yeah, but we don't need him to come back in the number one role. We need him to come back and just get it done when he needs to. When he's on the field, just get it done. That's the reality of it.
Catches the
But
ball pretty good out of the backfield. So
he does, yeah. Leonard Fournette does that too. I don't know. I would take either or. I don't want to spend a lot of money. Just sign him for a year or whatever, get it done. Just fill the void because we do need it. And if you don't think we need it, and we're just fine with the guys we got, I just read off all the injuries on that roster. There's only maybe 2 people that are good. And what if they get injured in that first game? Then what?
right.
Is Tua now going to be our leading rusher?
Or are we constantly going to be shutting down the run because we don't want to risk injury? I mean, there's that aspect too, man. We talked about it. We tried to drive that point home, but seems to have fallen on deaf ears for the time being.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, we all know what Chris Greer's doors look like, so there's always a chance.
Mm-hmm.
If
All
I
right,
was
here
at
we
my
go.
desktop, I'd pull it up.
There you go, Color. What we'll do is we will listen to Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer's interviews from yesterday.
I was trying to avoid them, but well,
Were
it's
you?
okay. Yeah, I'll take a hit for the show.
You really didn't want to hear what they had to say, huh? Or was it
well,
that bad?
well, I was like, because I didn't go through and watch them yesterday. So last night I was looking for something to pass some time, and I was about to click on it, and I'm like, I really don't need to hear Chris Greer blow a bunch of sunshine up my rear. I mean, I know we need to hear it, but I didn't want to do it last night.
Well, let's make some comedy hour out of this, okay?
Sure
Like we
thing,
usually
man.
do.
And good morning, Mountie Fins just rolled in.
Yeah. Here we go, Color. Let me turn down our music. I just realized it's still going. All right, there we go. Let me know if you can hear this, Color. You ready?
I'm ready.
But wait, I was going to ask about the roster.
Mike, why the trade with Noah to Dallas? Did he
Oh, we can
have
actually
a
hear the question
start,
today.
or was this to get a new body in here? What was the thinking?
That was something that.
Hold on. I didn't even hear what he say. What did he say? On my end, it's like super low.
He asked about the thoughts behind the Noah trade, basically.
Thoughts behind the Noah trade. Okay.
We definitely weren't chasing. We were approached with. There was some interest there, and really, regardless, that it wasn't planned. It wasn't a situation where we were really exploring the idea of not having him on the roster. But when given the opportunity and our specific team with our specific needs, we thought it was both a win for us. And I'm so happy for and really proud of Noah because everybody wants to be a first round draft pick.
Oh, did we lose the audio?
You lost the audio?
I did.
Let me reshare. Hold on.
It was right up into the point where he said he's proud of Noah. So it does look like a mutiny happened on the Ark. It was out of nowhere. They weren't looking to get rid of him.
Let me know if you can hear it now when I share it, Color, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Being able to
Yes, sir.
Be 23 years old and go to a place with a fresh start, specifically with a guy that I've worked with in Dan Quinn, and just knowing his coaching mentality. I think it's a good fit for them. I think it's a good fit for us. So that's how deals are done.
Yeah, it's a good fit because they both did it for the same reason, to get Cap off their off their books. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And if it makes guys like Shake feel better, we weren't shopping him. We were intending to keep him on this team.
Yeah, I think we were. I just think at the last minute it made sense.
He basically earned a phone call from another team. That good for him. That's why you show up at camp no matter what people say about you, you keep working hard. You know what I mean? Some other team is going to see some value in you. You know, good for
Yeah.
him.
Definitely.
Crossan and Saubert to injured reserve.
Yeah, Ali, Mr. Polk's right. I can still hear it good, but it's a lot lower than it was before, just to let you know.
It's a lot lower than what it was before. Yeah, I'm not
Like
really sure.
maybe the actual player might need to be turned up, possibly.
I have it all the way up.
Right,
So
right.
do you want to try sharing it on your end?
Here, yeah, let me get back to my desktop real quick.
Okay.
Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of weird. It may be on their end that it just went quieter, but it was a little louder before. Like
Let me
I could actually hear the questions this time around. That's usually rare.
hold on, Colin. Let me try this. Hold on
Sure.
1 second. Hold on. Let me do this. Share. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. Present. Share. I just tried something different. Let me press play and see if you can hear it.
Season without the possibility of return.
You know, those are things that you
Can you
kind
hear-
of.
Yeah, that's. I think that's like it was. Yeah,
This is good?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
As the week progresses because of the multiple implications within the roster. But it was in both of those players' interest with regard to their injury to go ahead and do that. Which later in the week, I think it's Wednesday night or Thursday, we settled the designated for return players with the accompanied movements.
We thought you had to wait until
I can't remember this is again, why are we even here? The Chris Greer show's tomorrow.
So basically they're talking about Keon Crossan and Eric Saubert. They're both on the injured reserve now. I didn't even know Saubert was injured, so that threw me because I thought he was a lock for this roster, to be honest. And Keon Crossan, I'm hearing, had like a freak accident with his coming back from injury or something. Something happened. So he's going to be done for the year, both him and Eric Saubert, which is kind of sad. So, yeah.
I stay in my lane. And honestly, I told you guys it's the worst part of the year. I shortchanged that. This one, there's a lot of people that we're all very close to that our journey together may or may not have ended. So excuse me if my timelines are a little foggy.
I want to ask you about trading away Dan Feeney. Just what went into that decision, and right as of now, who is the backup center to Connor Williams?
So there's that was another situation. We had a couple that kind of came to us, and I think me from a human being standpoint, in this situation as well, knowing Chris Morgan, the offensive line coach, I kind of knew that it was an opportunity that would be good for him and good for us with the return compensation. And in terms of the backup center, there's you guys always sit here and tell me, what's the big deal about OTAs, right? Huh? Do you remember there was a center every play, the first guys up to be working on that and who've been training since OTAs and got invaluable reps throughout will be Liam Eichenberg and Lester Cotton. So we have a good.
So
Wow.
Liam Eichenberg and Lester Cotton are our backup centers.
Yeah, and he also just took a shot at Connor right there.
Yeah, he did actually at the same time.
He said that we're willing to back you up with absolute garbage because they were willing to show up in OTAs and learn the ins and outs that we needed to get in those days, which could have been like preliminary new installs, stuff like that they've, like he's saying, could have been valuable for everybody. That's, you know what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
Connor, let's face it, Connor thought more of himself to participate with that. So
yeah,
now you got Liam Eichenberg clipping your heels.
Players in the interior, and adversity is an opportunity. So remember that next OTAs.
Like, about.
Wow, that's a shot at everybody at that point. Holy crap.
Obviously, long winding road in your career. Do you impart any of that on these guys when they're let go and talk to them about that stuff?
When it's appropriate, I think it does come up for sure. Just because, that they get, beat over the head with adversity as an opportunity, and that's where it comes from for me is living experience of those things. And just I think to be an effective coach, you have to embark on each individual player's journey. And when you do that, it's very easy to understand, the first time that I ever got let go with the Houston Texans. Okay. Viscerally, I'll never forget. It was the first time. Apparently that was an impressive answer. We just had a walkout. I'll viscerally never forget, like, I'd been on a team my whole life. And then I remember walking out of Reliance Stadium and like, wow, who am I? And that identity, although, a player's experience is different than a coach's, I think that there's a commonality in that, which is why it's, very emotional and very, very difficult for me in these times, is because I know exactly what that is. And you wake up, I mean, you are embarking on a invested journey that your mind is goal oriented to be on the 53 for the Miami Dolphins. And then boom, now what? I don't wish that on anybody. It's as uncharted territory is like one of the unknown is like one of the greatest sources of stress. Like that's science, like it's been studied, and it is a feeling that I don't wish on anyone. However, I do feel like there's certain times that it's very, very appropriate to share that with guys, because you can see it on people's faces when I didn't even see this coming, or what do I do now? And that it's brutal. So it comes up. I think that's an important part. It's not about living exactly in someone's shoes. It's being able to connect shared or experiences that might render residual feelings that are similar. So again,
Did he just psychoanalyze a Canning?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Really, man. All he did was remind me of every time I've been fired. Thanks, Mike. God, man.
He did.
How depressing.
That's one thing. That's one thing I'd noticed about McDaniel. He tends to psychoanalyze everything, to be honest.
Yeah, and I thought my impressions of him were hyperbolic. I don't think so anymore. I think I'm spot on, man.
Well, look, I like the fact that he analyzes things and stuff. I kind of like it a little bit.
What'd you have for coffee this morning, Mike? Well, see, the decision to choose a particular coffee, there's a lot that goes into it. When you're driving down the road and you're faced with all kinds of adversity, like somebody pulling out in front of you and all this stuff, and you finally get to the coffee place and you want that egg McMuffin, but you realize that you were there for coffee And that's really the important goal here in life is getting that cup, and the right mixture of cream and sugar
And
and
foam.
yeah,
And
and
foam.
foam, because that really is what the coffee is, and it's really, I always try to relate that to the players about life being just like a cup of coffee. You just got to drink it.
Color, if you were a little bit shorter, right, and had a little bit more your hair combed over, you kind of look like Mike McDaniel and sound like him.
Well, he's got a better tan than me.
That's true. He does a
It
little
looks
bit.
like he's been using the orange,
Mm,
hitting the beach.
that's just the coral or the orange in him, bro. You know, he
By the
wants to
way,
look
did
good.
you notice
He
it? You
wants to look
notice
good
he's
next to
wearing a
hockey.
black sweatshirt?
Yeah.
Like he's going to somebody's funeral or something.
Damn. Well, this was on the day when everybody was getting cut. So
Right.
oh man, that's funny. That's funny.
Brutal.
Listen, so one thing I will say is that I do understand. He tries to find a connection with everything. That's how he is, and I
Don't make
get it.
away from what he's saying. It's just
Yeah, I understand, and he's just trying to. It's he analyzes things because that's how he shows emotion, right?
right.
And to be honest, I know somebody said in here, and MJW says that this guy has no emotion. It's boring. Well, I kind of like the fact that he doesn't have emotion because the fact is that that means that he's a good poker player. If I'm an opposing defense or an opposing team on the other side and I'm looking over at the coach, you can't read in his eyes what he's thinking. You can't what he wants to do and whatnot. I like that. I don't like when people necessarily have all their emotions on their sleeves, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because they're that when that what that means, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, okay? What that means is that you're more likely to give away information that you did not intend to. You get sloppy, you make mistakes, and the anger gets the best of you, right? Which basically means that it's gonna get the worst part in your favor,
Right.
right? And that being said, I kind of like this where the guy's calm and collected and analyzes things and stuff because even though I could kind of read between the lines of what he was trying to say, it throws a lot of people off because they don't really understand and I imagine what he does to other teams when actually like trying to read the coach. Not say that teams do that, but when it does affect play calling and your team's decisions in a game. You know what I mean?
I
So,
bet he's really good at Victorian insults, man.
oh, I bet he
Like
is
he'll
too.
totally insult you and you not even realize he's doing it.
Yeah, I bet he does too. That's absolutely right. So,
I mean that him talking about OTAs the way he did was kind of a Victorian insult.
mm. Yep. All right, Colin, let's keep it moving.
There's more deserving. There's more than 53 deserving people to be on this football team, but there's only 53 spots, and and I pressed upon the locker room today, like part of your grieving of your brethren that isn't here is doing right by them because they sure wish they were.
Like as it stands, I believe you only have 3 safeties on the 53, and Brandon really hasn't practiced much. Are you comfortable with that? And I mean, as in addition to the post cut down day kind of roster shuffling with IR, do you anticipate, adding another safety?
You know, I think it would be safe to say that you don't feel completely safe with too little safeties. Okay. There, I would anticipate something. There's a lot of ways now that your roster can be set up with regard to since COVID year, the 16 player practice squad and the flexibility and things of that nature. So there's some depth issues that will be solidified by some practice squad members, maybe some active activity. I mean, shoot, tune in for the Chris Greer show tomorrow. Who knows what you'll find out.
Mike, how stressful is it from the organization standpoint when you make a move today and you're hoping that you can get a guy through waivers, or you're hoping that a guy will be available tomorrow or down the line?
It's a you can't make moves under any sort of assumption either way. You have to be very, very calculated and knowing that you are taking a risk, and that's inherent in all of it. It's bittersweet because you would love to have additional players, specifically the guys that you've been with, that they know your system and you're invested with. However, teammates, the organization itself, you can't spend too much time getting down for someone's dream to be realized. So it's conflicting. It is measured and calculated, but it comes with inherent risk. So it's I'm very much the optimist, but I just flip the role in these situations. I kind of turn to a pessimist with regard to uh, just very, very ready for that to happen. That's a real thing, and players aren't really a secret that
Mike,
much.
can you talk about the 3 undrafted rookies to make the team? Brandon Peely, Julian Hill, and Chris Brooks. What they showed you.
By heart, still got it. You want that? So that is the journey. That is the hardest, most difficult to navigate that really exists. You go 0 to 60 from college to professional, and then you get here and you are stacked underneath guys that have been doing it professionally in the scheme or on the stage for an extended period of time, and it can look insurmountable, especially you have your first your rookie mini camp and you're like, man, I'm pretty good, and then you get to a practice with your whole team, you're like, whoa. So undrafted free agents that are able to make a 53-man roster, they that in it of itself, I think I crushed that. That by itself really is such a monumental task that so few people can undertake. Promise nothing, and really just behind the 8 ball. It's like if I went to a foreign country, could I speak fluently in a month and a half or however long? That's tough to do. But every year there's certain guys that you're really trying to find that have that mental fortitude to really accomplish something like that. Very huge accomplishment that the that really all the teammates really appreciate. You want to see an excited locker room. It's seeing an undrafted rookie free agent um, on the 53, because most of the time they're breathing a sigh of relief, because they've if they're even in consideration, they've made waves in practice and preseason games, and to see that goal, all of their $5,000 or $10,000 signing bonus, you know, and just really doing stuff for the right reasons and learning fast. It's a cool process for everybody involved, and a lot of respect given to those three and many other rookies that hopefully will join us.
My son's last
Where am I?
He asked you about Jonathan Taylor as you were trying to tell us.
I don't know, but it was kind of interesting. Again, another psychoanalyzation by Mike McDaniel. That's okay.
I
No,
totally forgot what he was even talking about, bro.
he was basically talking about the journey of three undrafted rookies getting to the NFL and
Right,
you know
right.
being on the 53-man roster essentially.
Right, okay.
Julian Hill, Brandon Pilley, and Brooks. I'm excited to see what these guys do. You know, a lot of people are really high on Julian Hill, and for the size that he is, I like it. I want to see how we actually use our tight ends in this offense. I still think we might have to bring in another. I think there's going to be some adjustments there, and we might see, you know, a tight end, you know, being signed today or later this week. I want to say because I believe we only have 2 on the 53-man roster. Tanner Connor's on the practice squad. So,
Right.
yeah, that'll be kind of interesting. Brandon Pilley, he's a guy I've been following all off season, so I'm excited to see that he made the team, and I'm excited to see what he actually does in real games. Who's the other guy? Julian Hill, Brooks. Brooks is one of our only healthy running backs we have here, and as long as he keeps his head down and keeps doing what he does, I think it's going to be really interesting. I think he's going to be a decent player for us, to be honest. So, what are your thoughts on the 3 guys? Anything, Color?
I think Peely's a great one. I mean, he's gonna do great things in this league, even if he is just the backup to start. You know, the guy can really blow up an offensive line. You know, Brooks. I mean, Brooks is Brooks, and he's a big power back, and we'll see if he what he looks like you know, under some game speed when he gets healthy.
I agree 100%. Everybody in the chat, do me a favor because after this interview, we're going to go straight to Q&A. Please put in any questions you want to answer, any topic you want to talk about, whatever it may be. Put it in the chat now. So once this interview is over, we'll go straight to that. So I'm giving you guys the warning again. The last few minutes of the show, we're going to be doing Q&A with you guys. So get in your questions while you can.
Between the lines, was there ever a point that you thought that it might happen, or was it always just something that was not attainable?
So, like, I mean, honestly, I spend 0 time except when I answer questions about it, when I can half see your face because your phone's covering the rest of it. Like the it's again structured that way for a reason. When things are serious enough, it comes to my plate. But you know, when you're very happy with the players that you're coaching, know that they're capable of making a ton of plays, and you have you know, a lot of guys that you're going with on a journey, just trying to get them better every day. I spend 0 time thinking or forecasting, and just trigger ready if Chris comes knocking on my door for whatever reason. But that hasn't been a part of my life really in the last since you've asked me.
Mike, just a question kind of out of nowhere, which isn't a surprise considering the source. Yes, exactly. You told us that you asked Tyreek about acquiring Eli Apple. If Tyreek would have said no, you guys just move on, and would that be the case for Jonathan Taylor, or would that be the case for any other? Let me take him out of it. Would that be the case for any other high-profile player you might attain?
I think you hit the nail on the head in that's something that is important to me. That Eli Apple example is a great one where when you're adding someone to the team You want to know its residual effect on the team, because it's not just you're adding a player to the team, but it's about the team. So when there's questions that are obvious or maybe pseudo not obvious, but your their position coaches on our team, the personnel staff, the training staff, the strength staff. Our jobs are to invest in these players, and when you invest in people, you can learn a ton about them, especially when you're not on your phone. Okay, and in that, if there's something that you can connect dots to, I shame on me if I enter into something that might shake the locker room up in an adverse way. That's kind of our jobs, as Chris and I look at it, to build a team, coach a team, and make sure that team is as good as it possibly can be. So that things like that always factor in.
Earlier when we were talking about getting released from a team and that feeling of not being part of a team, someone who went through that was here a few minutes ago, Zach Sealer, and now you saw him get rewarded the way he did. Can you just describe your feelings about seeing him get rewarded and why he was able to overcome the way he did and be such an important part of the team?
The absolute climax of the coaching experience. It is everything, because to watch someone go to sustain what that is, that body blow that is to be released from a team, to battle against the human nature that is, am I good enough? The fortitude to keep pressing forward for the right reasons, the belief it takes in oneself, all of that, and to see someone come out the other side. We're so fortunate to have Zach, and we were so fortunate to be able to extend him for 3 years. And there's one thing with guys like that. Every piece of the pie was earned, and that is a testament, a living testament that we have in-house now, a great example of perseverance that you can always resource and point out. I brought it up the other day. I think my last team meeting with the 90 man roster is before you go into a world where this is all or nothing. I asked, Raheem Mostert, how many times have you been cut? Zach Sealer, how many times have you been cut? And that's everything, because that you don't go through this world of NFL football unscathed. And it's not a coincidence that I say adversity is an opportunity every 2 minutes, because it's always there. But if you can control what you can control, you have a chance to be the best version of yourself and live after football with no regrets.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, I get the whole coaching of men thing, bro, but at some point you got to realize you're the head coach and you're not just some position coach that's rooting for the player. I mean, bro, like seriously, what are we up? He said that was the apex of coaching, and to me, the apex of coaching is winning. Period. Sorry, this is professional sports, man. This ain't like a great Olympic story and all this. And I'm tired of us being the organization where everybody gets their stories written. Can we just win ball games and like focus on that? I mean, really. I don't mean to crap on it, but I get it. It makes him really proud as a coach.
Unlike color, yes, you do.
It makes him really proud as a coach that one of his players worked through, persevered through whatever and got a contract. That's all hunky dory. Now, what are you going to do to win the game? How does that affect our future as a football team? Other than everybody's happy and everybody has a feel good story to tell the next players coming in. Like, I don't know. It just seems like everybody on this team is in a position of fixing themselves first. And, when we could just bring in guys that don't need fixing, bro. We just bring every case we bring in is like every guy on our team. It's like, hallelujah, you got a contract and you did great for yourself. And we just continue to never go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get coaches in here that prioritize all of that. And I understand that that's a part of it. And I get it. It's hard to say all this without seeming like I'm just like throwing shade on it all. Yeah, there's aspects of that, and sure. But the apex of a coach's career should be winning in a professional sport. None of these guys are going to care 10 years from now.
I understand your point of view. That's your view of it. So, yeah. I agree. We should be focused on winning and whatnot. And I agree.
He completely dodged the question, in case you didn't realize, which was probably smart on his behalf, because it was a fairly dumb question. Pertinent question, but dumb. Like,
yeah, one thing I if you guys remember, I believe it was Rich Eisen that was doing the interview with Mike McDaniel when he first got hired. And it was something about being the cliche coach, the cliches that coaches use and the way that they do interviews and say the cliche things, right?
Right.
I think Mike McDaniel took it to heart and said, I don't want to be a cliche guy. And that's why he psychoanalyzes everything. You know what I mean? That's why the way he does his interviews and makes something being a long-winded
I would just call it long form cliche.
Well, I was saying long-winded is the word I use, long-winded. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the why he answers things the way that he does. And you know what? People say he doesn't have emotion. Maybe he does. Maybe that's how he shows it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. My opinion is that I really don't care what the coach has to say. Just prove it on the field. That's all I care about. I don't really care.
Right.
I don't care if you think he has emotion or not. I'm not being a rah-rah guy. I like Mike McDaniel. I really do. Right? I just want him to prove it on the field. That's how I rate somebody. I don't rate them by whatever hysterical, they act on stage when they're doing interviews. I don't rate coaches that way.
Right.
So go ahead.
But I want to point out that as far as the question about Tyreek Hill, he didn't answer no. And I really I take issue with that. I understand that there's supposed to be a certain amount of, okay, we're a team here and we're trying to build a team. So yeah, if a guy told you, if a guy threatened to if a guy said it's on site, okay, and you ask Tyreek, hey, how deep is this? That's one thing. But to go through Tyreek like that, to insinuate that it's like if he would have said no, you wouldn't have brought him in here. I mean, who's the coach? Who's the general manager? Tyreek Hill? I would have just avoided the question altogether, man. Yeah. I would have said that's none of your business and moved on. Because he can't. There's no way he can answer that question with a good result.
It's basically a loaded question.
It is, because if he says, no, I don't take that into consideration, then he's not a good team builder. You see what I'm saying? But if he says, yes, I take that into consideration, then it's Tyreek running the team. He can't, there's no way he can answer that question. That's why it was a gotcha question for sure.
Yep. All right, Color, let's go into the last segment. We're going to do Q&A. The first question comes from Papa Paul. Has your outlook of the season changed at all now that we have a 53-man roster? Listen, before this season began, before the 53-man roster was put together, finally, I said based on who's on this team, we could go 13-4 or 14-3 as long as we execute. Right now that we have the 53-man roster put in place, the biggest question for me is the secondary, the corner position, and the safety depth. Right, we still don't know who's going to be the number 2 safety next to Javon Holland. Right, and we still are kind of question mark on who's starting across from Xavier Howard. Eli Apple, do I trust it? Well, am I okay with it? Kinda. I mean, Sam Madison's there, and Vic Fangio. Maybe they can coach him up and fix things. Why not? But we have Cater Cahoos, so that's good too. And we also have Cam Smith. So I mean, it's not as bad as it seems. Safety, I have more question marks on, and I still think they bring in a veteran defensive tackle at some point. Akeem Nicks still hasn't signed anywhere, so I would bring him in. But I kind of think that 13-4 is where I'm at right this moment. As long as we execute, and stay healthy, that's
right. Yeah, I would have to say my expectation for a record is much higher than my prediction. But I'm right with you. I mean, given what we've done, given what we have, the minor adjustments we made in the off season. Yeah, I don't see why it can't buy us 4 games. We should have had 4 extra games last year, and there's really no excuse for why we didn't. That being said, if those couple things are corrected, why shouldn't we have the same expectation we did last year with a lesser grade defense? Or what we expect to be a lesser grade defense.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly don't think the defense that we've seen from Vic Fangio is Vic Fangio's defense. I was looking at it, and it just doesn't seem that that's his defense in the way he's doing it. And
well, he's also the newest coach in the building.
That's true.
He's got to get through the fundamentals. He's got to know where everybody's at in the fundamentals.
And that goes back to what I said about the preseason, that he's using it for what color? That magic word that starts with
evaluation.
Exactly. Word of the day is evaluation.
He doesn't know anybody on that defense. He's just fresh in the building. He doesn't know what kind of heart you have. He doesn't know none of that. He don't know you from a hole in the ground, other than a stat sheet.
Now that he has the evaluation in practice, I assume we're going to see a lot more.
You were going to see a lot more vanilla defense than you would on offense per se because of that. Yeah. Absolutely. Mike McDaniel's his second year in. He's got an agenda, a clear agenda going into this training camp. You know what I mean?
And that's getting the running game going. And the
right, or whatever it is. Whatever it is, he's got a plan. I'm going to show this amount, and I'm going to do this amount vanilla. These days I'm going to do, fundamental evaluation, and these days I'm going to install some new stuff. I mean, but Fangio is just that, hey, I don't know anybody from a hole in the ground. It's going to be 90% evaluation and vanilla.
The next question comes from Dolphin Don. How's it going, bud? What is everybody's expectation for the Chargers game? Did the Jags game affect it?
Not one iota for me. But
no, it hasn't affected. I still think we win this game. I think that as long as Teron Armstead and players that are on par to play week 1, I think we'll be able to hold it down.
Right, right.
You get Teron Armstead playing healthy. I heard A-Chain is coming back. He's in practice. He has the red jersey on, but he's in practice. You know what I mean? He's day to day or whatever. As long as
I've said it, I've said it a dozen times, Ollie. I think Mike McDaniel has done nothing but think about game planning for this game since December.
So what I'm concerned more about is I need the Miami Dolphins to shut Eckler down. You shut Eckler down, make the game smaller, and then you can focus on the 2 receivers they have like 3 receivers now. They have who they got? Keon, what's his name? Let me pull up their receivers. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and the new guy from TCU. I'm not too worried about
Rager?
them.
Did they pick up Rager?
No. Hold on. The guy from TCU that they drafted.
Rager happens to be from TCU as well. Rager will take the top off of defense. I'm surprised we haven't brought him in.
Mm-hmm. God, I'm trying.
Rager can replace that speed that we just gave
Quentin
up.
Johnson, I think his name is Quentin Johnson.
Mhm.
Yeah, Quentin Johnston. He got signed. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not outside of Keenan Allen. Mike Williams, in my opinion, is not very consistent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Not anymore.
I don't think he's been consistent at
I mean,
all.
He's good for a touchdown a game, I guess you could say.
After that one breakout year where he was really decent, the next year he was like, Can you see me? Now you see me, now you don't. I mean, come on. Keenan Allen is more of a threat, in my opinion, because he's so consistent, bro. He's
definitely.
As long as he's healthy, you know what you're getting. You know what I mean? So you just got to be careful with that. I think Vic Fangio has a plan. You know, we'll see. You know how he executes it, but based on execution, as long as everybody's healthy, I think we'll be good. What's the next question here? Let me find one. Do you feel McDaniel will last as a Dolphins coach? I do. As long as we keep winning and we make the playoffs, I don't see why he wouldn't last. You know, that we made the playoffs in his first year. If we make the playoffs again, it's like hard to say no to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say ask me that question Monday after the Chargers game.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, for so far, I mean, he's, I don't think he's necessarily. I think he's got us pointed in the right direction. So you can't.
I will say this.
You have to default to,
Yeah, so far, Mike McDaniel hasn't done anything that I feel that is warranted a firing. What I do think it is warranting a firing is maybe possibly some things that Greer has done, and that is the lack of bringing certain depth to areas of need. But then again, they may have a plan, and we just don't know what that plan is, and I don't know. Maybe that's the case, so I'll leave it at that. But right now, I'm more of a Greer being on a hot seat than I am Mike McDaniel. Just my opinion.
Right.
Let's see here. What's the next question? At least we're getting questions today. I like this.
I think we pull it out 23-17.
23-17. I'll give you that. 23-17.
Early prediction.
And I'm gonna make another prediction. Justin Herbert throws 2 interceptions and Javon Holland gets one of them. That's what I'm going with. Mr. Palk is asking Ali and Color, are we adding free agents to improve our special team? I don't know. I don't know if we add any more free agents.
Yeah, not
the way Mike McDaniel talked in that interview, it sounded like more they're gonna pull stuff from the practice squad. To be honest, I do think there are positions of need where you may bring in a free agent. And I'll give you an example. Our defensive tackle room, we kept 5 defensive tackles, but I still think that an Akeem Hicks or some other, veteran free agent might be a better option there. Just my opinion. In addition to that, the corner position is still a question mark because do we trust Eli Apple now that Noah's gone? That's a big question. There's a guy, Bradley Roby's out there. Granted, he's 31 years old. He's still very formidable and consistent. I mean, based on what he's done. So, I mean, I'd consider bringing him in on a veteran's minimum if you can. So, I would do something like that.
I really wouldn't mind kicking the tires on Jalen Reagor, man. I mean, this guy.
Yeah, that's an option too.
This is a guy that can replace the speed that we intended Robbie Chosen to bring in here. And that may be why we haven't re-signed Chosen yet. They're probably mulling it over right now. You got a guy like Reagor. If you look at his stats,
There's quite a few guys out there. Right.
He edges out Chosen a little bit in completion percentage. It's not that big a difference.
Yeah, there's quite a few players that are available now, so maybe they're thinking rolling it over. You're right.
But I'd say Rager is. I did the comparison. He's been much more a consistent receiver than Robbie Chosen. So, given the speed, if I remember correctly, Jalen Rager is a speed guy. I'd have to make sure of that, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there's still moves we could do in free agency, sure.
Yeah. God Soldier, is everyone in agreement that the team fails? We 100% blame Greer. Can't keep getting away with the hashtag fire Greer. Listen, I see what your point, and I do think he is definitely on the hot seat because certain moves that we should have made during the offseason we didn't make. And I'm not even talking about Jonathan Taylor, just so you know that. Because I wouldn't have given up Waddle for Jonathan Taylor either. But my point is that there are certain positions of need we didn't address that we should have. And I know you may have wanted to cover it up with a move for a certain running back, but if you're just going to sit there and flirt with the idea but never actually do anything, what plan do you have? Really, what is your plan? I don't really think you have one at
right,
some point.
exactly. And if it's always about we can only get the superstar if it's on the cheap, well, that happens so rarely that you're just going to be spinning your wheels, bringing in guys every now and then spending them before you get the whole thing complete. It's what we're looking at now with Tyreek, Chubb, and Jalen Ramsey. I mean, you should have got this guy. You should have.
Yeah.
Bottom line, and I don't buy that the reason we didn't do it was because Waddle was on the table. We could have gotten around that, and I'm not so sure I believe it, given that something like that comes out right after people start complaining about Chris Greer. Him throwing his hands up and saying, well, what do you want me to do? He's playing on the fan base loving Waddle by saying, well, they wanted Waddle. And now the fan base is going to get behind him and say, well, Irsay's an idiot, which is true. That's why it's plausible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
so, Color,
I'm sorry. Real quick, if we lose more than one game because we couldn't salt the game away on a 3rd and 1, then yes, it's Chris Greer's fault.
Yeah, but it also depends on how we lose. If we end up losing because of a bonehead play call or something, I don't necessarily blame Greer on that.
Like I said, if it's more than one game where it's because we couldn't get a first down, hold on to possession and salt the game away, then yeah, it's Chris Greer's fault.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll do 2 more questions and I gotta go, okay? Morning, Ali and Color, everyone. Question: does Brooks outplay A-Chain this year? There is a big possibility of this. Doing the fact that A-Chain is nursing a shoulder injury, we don't know if he's going to be perfectly healthy. In addition to that, A-Chain is still very raw, so is Brooks. I don't know. It depends. The one thing I noticed about A-Chain, he doesn't necessarily hit the hole properly when he should, or the right hole, I should say. So it's really it
the good news is he hits it so hard he can still move the line of scrimmage 2 yards.
Yeah, I don't want him to continue to do that every time.
That's why it's probably likely why he has a shoulder injury. Sure, I mean, the thing of it is we're for the average person, this type of injury could go 4 to 6 weeks before they're not feeling any pain anymore. So you're looking at probably at least 3 weeks, even for an athlete. The first game of the season is only 2 weeks away, or a week and a half away, and so it looks like Brooks will probably get more opportunities in the long run if you were to make predictions. Plus, he's a bigger back that he probably has to. Let's say it's probably a little less mental for a bigger back than it is for a smaller scat back, because Brooks can rely on his power if, let's say, he doesn't hit the hole the right way, or if he has to think too hard. It's like, just turn it up and run it, because you're big. So he has that advantage. I could easily see Brooks outperforming A-Chain.
Yeah. So this next person, we're gonna take his question only because he's a special friend of the family. Jags Junkie asks a question. And if
Is
you
that
don't
who
know,
I think it is?
yes, it is him. You know
He
who
just,
he is.
yeah, he just texted me with his new number yesterday. So shout out to you,
Yep.
Jags Junkie.
Yep. Are you worried about signing a Taylor or Bosa or both? Because re-signs are coming in the coming years of Holland, Phillips, Wilkins, Waddle, etc. And unfortunately, Tua seems like issues are coming. All right. First of all, there are ways to open up money where you can sign a lot of those guys. Now, will all of them be kept? Unfortunately, no. That's the reality of things. Not all of them will be, but it all depends on how much money that they certain players for, and how much cap they open up. The cap also goes up, as well as money can come out of your owner's pocket instead of hitting the cap. So I'm worried, but because it's going to make things a little bit difficult, but I'm not as worried because it's is expected. Reality is that no team can keep every single player and still add the top talent in the world. But then again, if you think about it, do we really need to really pay Christian Wilkins when you have a Nick Bosa and a Jalen Phillips as defensive ends? You know what I mean? Do
Exactly.
you really need in a sense, are we even sure we're going to really fully pay Tua? To be honest, do you want him in a long term? Depending on what happens, this season's going to dictate that. You know what I
Right.
mean? And who else did he have on here? Holland. Holland, I think we pay, bro. You need to have the safety position is so important on this defense. I think that's more of on the agenda than signing Tua to a long term extension at this point. That's my opinion. But Phillips, I think, is a must. You have to. Wilkins is the question mark. Do you overpay Wilkins? Yes, no. Does he do enough for you? No. If you bring in a Bosa, I don't think you need to pay for a Wilkins. You know what I mean? You can
Right.
find someone else at a lower cost to fill that void. So he's the big question mark. One last question, and I do have to go.
God, we'd be ridiculous with Bosa on our
Let me
defense.
find if there's another question here, Color.
I'd probably push harder for Bosa than Taylor.
I'm looking to see if there's any.
I wouldn't give Waddle up for Bosa though.
I'm going up and down the list. Find a question for me. Is there any more questions, or did I get them all?
Let's see. Looks like we might have got them all. As soon as we say they're done, somebody will be
Here's
like,
one
"Give
last
this
one.
one."
Aquavisions. I'm sorry. Thoughts on schedule? All but 3 games are on the Eastern time zone. I think this is great. In the sense that most of them are in the Eastern time zone, which means even though we're traveling, there's not a lot of jet lag, which is really good. It wasn't like last year how we kept going and having to go back and forth and spend a lot of time on the West Coast, and then
And it happens
we
kind
play
of
on the East
early
Coast.
too.
Yeah. So that's not too bad. The biggest thing is coming back from Germany. That will be kind of a different type of
Right.
situation.
Right.
But I think it's good. I think it's good. The schedule is not as bad as it looks. What else? I'm actually gonna give you a hot take, and it's no pun intended. I honestly think the first Buffalo game is going to be in hot weather. I don't care if it's in Buffalo. I think it's going to be hot.
Right, like a freak New York heat wave. Yeah.
I'm predicting it. I'm going to predict it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But that's
one of those seasons where they got to stick a big block of ice out in the street.
Could you imagine that, bro? The game being in the similar heat that Miami has for whatever reason, like a freak weather happened. You know what I mean? And what the Buffalo fans are going to think at that point? What excuse are they going to? Are they going to call OSHA on their own team for not building a dome?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's basically what could happen here. I'm just messing. I gotta spread the Buffalo hate. Anyway, thank you all for coming out. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Shout out to our members. We have 3 different memberships, so definitely check that out. Again, we thank you all. And I appreciate everything. Did we miss any super chats, Color? Did we miss any? I didn't see any.
I don't believe so. No, everybody's too tired to give us money in the morning. They haven't checked their bank accounts yet.
We don't look for that kind of stuff, to be honest. I don't look for it. The only time I ever see it is when I'm watching someone else's show. So
They're like,
But,
we don't log into the bank till at least 8 o'clock, man.
yeah. Anyway, speaking of 8 o'clock, I gotta get to work. You guys, I'll see y'all later. Fins
Yeah,
up, everybody.
Fins up, everybody.
See you guys tomorrow.